6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and My Eyes. Football is back. The banter has started already. Sunderland are going to win the league. Newcastle are toothless. I've had a Macam on the phone to me already. I've had people at work who are Spurs fans, Man United fans, Liverpool fans, all taking the piss out with me. And do you know what it is? I'm here for it because the banter is back. And that's what we love. We've missed it. We've wanted it. We've craved it. And I got a little bit upset today, but it was all good. Welcome to Fulltyne Match Review. 1 point gained or 2 lost. Get your opinions in the chat, please. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help the channel grow. It's all free. Join from 99p or using the super chat at the bottom right-hand corner to donate. Remember, all donations go towards getting our big guests on by donating to their chosen charity. That's how we like to try and do it now. But the first lot always pays to make sure the channel runs for free. Please adhere to standard community guidelines. Keep comments respectful, and of course, enjoy the show. Chez is in the house with Leslie. How are we all doing? Right, a couple of things before I bring JC in. Even Gary. Proud Daddy Day today. Get a text message off my partner now. My little boy started playing football on a Saturday morning training. Sunday plays in a game. Now I've been and watched him, and I'm not going to lie. He's crap, right? But he's 6. So he's allowed to be. You know, they all chase each other around in a circle and follow the ball around the pitch and all that sort of stuff. But today I get a text message, right? And I'm going to read it to you because it made me very proud. He's done the best at football today, even the coach said. He passed, got in, nearly scored, and followed instructions. Now, bearing in mind, when my little boy normally plays, he normally goes and stands there and twiddles with the net. So, you know, this is an achievement in itself. And then Lewis came, one of the kids' dads, and said that in the teams are split. He said he was very proud of Jacob. His best he's done. He's seen him last season. So there we go. Proud dad moment. Maybe he is going to get into football. Maybe he's going to follow in my footsteps. Hopefully, he'll be better. And the last one, shout out to Jimmy, who is a big fan of the show, but you can't watch at the moment. He's had a few problems in America, a fire outside his house, and having a bit of a problem. So, Jimmy, we wish you well and hope you're okay, mate. So there we go. Congrats, Baz and the boy. Get chicken for the transfer. he's definitely not that good. Anyway, Jesse, how are we doing?
I'm all right, Baz. That's fantastic about Jacob.
Loving it.
Excellent. Yeah, it's nothing better sometimes, is there, than that sort of thing. We had one last year, a couple of years ago. Madeline played for the school team. She scored a goal, and she was running around like she'd won the World Cup, but it was
that's what it's all. Oh,
but it was an own goal, but they loved it. So do you know what? What it is, what it is. You know, let them be. Let them be.
Brilliant. It's just the fact of running around in a circle.
It's great.
I laugh and I try to shout at my, and I know you're not supposed to shout as a dad and all that sort of stuff. And you got to let the coaches coach and all that sort of thing. But I'm trying to go, Jacob, get in space. Just go and stand in space. See if the ball comes to you, then try and score. But no, it doesn't work. Evening, Jake. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining the show, pal. Just getting off some personal accolades out of the way there. But yes, we are here, obviously, because of the result today. You know, football's back. Early afternoon kickoff. I don't think early kickoffs have ever been very good for Newcastle, to be completely honest with you. We're not really the best at kicking off at 12:30 on a Saturday. Luckily, when the Champions League starts, there will be no early Saturday kickoffs for us because we'll be playing on a Sunday and a Monday. So thank God, I think they've got that one out the way with very quickly. Goals will come. They will. Hey Mo, hope you do. Back from holiday, Mo. You're still on holiday. If you've enjoyed your holiday, amazing. Great to see you in the chat. Mo will be coming on a few more shows in the future as well, but he's been on holiday. So team news, first of all, was obviously, I mean, there was no surprises really with the Villa team. After speaking to Sean, he was a bit surprised that the SofaScore thing didn't have Mings playing, so he was right. Mings would start instead. But when I look at that Villa team, it didn't scare me like it used to last season, because they had Rashford, Asensio, they were missing. And this is what PSR's caused problems with. And I feel sorry for the Villa fans, because they're now seeing what we've had to go through with 3 windows where we couldn't buy anyone. And it really does weaken not even your first 11, but it really does weaken the squad as well. So, and obviously we bought one of their players, which makes it even worse for them. We got the team absolutely spot on. Apart from the goalkeeper situation, we weren't sure whether it'd be Pope or Ramsdale. We were confident it would be Pope. And and everything else was spot on. We expected it to be the way it was. Now, what did you make of our new strategy at kickoff?
It's unconventional. I think.
Is it?
Well,
who've they copied?
It's that PSG one, isn't it?
It is.
And trying to put it out. I'm not sure I like it. Yes, I suppose it puts the opponents on the back foot. But
that's the idea, isn't it? That's the idea of it. It's get it as close to the corner flag, and
I
then
think I don't know. I think I might be. I don't know what your thoughts are, Baz, but I'm a bit more old school. Just you've got the ball. If you're doing it from kickoff, you've got the ball. Keep the ball. But obviously, as we'll come on to, it obviously did. It provided something. I think it's one of those that you can do it every so often. But if you do it every time, I mean, PSG did it, I think, in the World Club Championships every time.
Yeah.
And people were like, well, we know what you're going to do now. If you do it sporadically, it probably has some effect. They didn't know we were going to do that. And obviously, it led to something from there. So I'm not a fan of it, but occasionally, chucking it up a little bit, different things.
Yeah, you can see the new set piece coach has brought some new ideas, 100%. With some clever free kicks today. I mean, Ali McCoy said it quite well. He says, I can't believe we're seeing teams kick the ball out straight from kickoff when it's meant to be a possession-based game these days. So I thought that was quite an intelligent comment from him. But I understand why we do it. It's because we like to press and we like to cause a mistake. Now, when's the best time for you to try and cause a mistake? It's straight from kickoff, isn't it? They always say you're at your most vulnerable when you've just scored and you're kicking off again. So maybe they're trying to put that in a doubt in the mind, saying, we think you're vulnerable straight from kickoff because you're not going to be, fully focused on having to go and chase the ball in the corner and be set up properly. So I think that's the idea of it.
I think it showed as well, because obviously, we went on to have some really, that first 10, 15 minutes, we were all over them, and I think it set a precedent. As I say, could you do it every week? No, because teams get used to it eventually. But if they know that you've got it in your locker, they're like, "Oh, do we set up? Are they going to pass it?
Yeah,
are they going to boot?" You're on the probably the winning foot already, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I get that. And again, even if you do it all the time, you're still saying to them, "We're putting you under pressure. Can you deal with it? Can you deal with this throw-in this close to your opponent without making a mistake and then giving us possession in a higher area straight away?" So I get the pros and cons of it, and we'll see how it goes, really. I mean, it worked for PSG because I think they scored from it the first time they did it or something like that. So, it has its benefits. There is one thing I did miss that I wanted to bring up, and it was Jamie Rubin's words. Ahead of the new Champions League season, I want to renew our thanks to our supporters for their unwavering commitment to NUFC once again. Definitely an eventful summer, and I'm sorry I was not able to communicate directly more, but everyone from our ownership down was working tirelessly to ensure we have the best possible season ahead. Safe travels to Villa Park and up the Mags. It's strange how he's decided to perk up now, right at the start of the season, when no one said anything about Isak and no one said anything about failing to sign players. And why has he been so quiet? He didn't used to be.
I don't know. It's a tough one. You know, he could have chirped up a lot earlier, and I think that would have reassured some of the fans. I think we've been, for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, certainly, we've been in a little bit limbo. We've needed that guidance and that sort of. Eddie's been great. Eddie's been so professional and brilliant.
Yes,
but I think sometimes things need to come from higher up the chain.
Yeah.
I've no doubt that Amanda, if she was with us, she'd have turned around and said, "Look, this is what's going on. This is what we're thinking. This is why, this is what we're going to do." It's very strange on the morning, the day before that comes out. For me, it should have come out 3 or 4 days ago. But it's nice that it's still nice that there is that comment still.
Yeah, it's nice that he's finally perked up, but I just think, when we go back to the Amanda days and him sitting on the train, going out to London, we knew everything. We knew where they were. We knew when they farted. And now it's like, we hardly hear anything. It's just a bit weird, and that he's decided to finally perk up now. But there we go. That's probably I could be one of a few who think that. You mentioned the first 10, 15 minutes. It was very frantic, wasn't it? It was, and I thought I was really impressed with how we kept the ball, how we opened up Villa as well through the middle with pace. Alanga, absolutely gutted he didn't score, because when he ran through, I thought, here we go. Should he have squared it?
Yes, I think he should have done. But that's that. It was his league debut. There was it was a chance. I wouldn't like to say how many times out of 10, but a good 4, 5, 6 times out of 10 he scores that. I think he wanted that. I think for him, I can't speak for him obviously, but the way I see it is a little bit twofold. It's like a little bit, okay, so Isak's not there, or there isn't a striker there, a known striker, but I'll fill your goals in, and it's that kind of thing for him, I think. And his debut, a little bit probably giddy, maybe, but yeah, I've no doubt in 10, 15 games, if that was the same scenario, exactly the same, he squares it, it's a goal, 1-0.
Yeah. I love the PSG kickoff. We did that start of the game. Yeah. We just talked about that, mate. You've obviously just joined, so welcome to the chat, as always. But yeah, we mentioned that. Gordon, I thought was excellent in the first half. I thought he was excellent all game. Apart from his finishing touch, of course. That header. If we had someone who could head the ball, someone maybe like a Mitrovic who could be on a free transfer if he was in the middle of the box. I think he would have scored that.
Yeah. I think they said it on TNT. I think they said
I'm not
it right.
mentioning the other one.
Yeah, I think they said it right. It's that for Gordon. Gordon's a wide player.
Yeah,
and it's that being aware of being in that central role that he struggled with a little bit. He was great all game. Gordon was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I thought he was all game, but it's that being central, which he's not used to being central. He's used to coming in from the wing, cutting in, and doing it there. It's that different mentality as such, which let him down today, and that was the only thing that let him down.
Yeah, someone's mentioned that. I was going to come to that a little bit later on when I mentioned how Shaw's passing from the back. There's 2 just unbelievable balls.
Unreal. I wrote that on my notes today. That's what my notes here. I wrote that on my notes. Absolutely phenomenal that is.
Yeah, and it's great to see him do that again, because I remember seeing him do it near the end of the last season, and he wasn't quite on his game, was he? And he was scuffing them, and I was thinking, oh God, but he seems refreshed and he seems on the ball. And I think he is actually worried about his place, obviously, because Malik Chav's come in, Botman's going to be fully fit. Dan Burns obviously playing for his spot. Some monster tackles he put in.
He was absolutely, for me, he was I know Ali McCoy gave it to Fabian Scher for those, and he said for those balls directly.
Yeah.
But for me, Dan Burn was just scintillating.
Yeah.
He was just old. It was an old school English defender. I'm having everything. and it was just great to see.
I couldn't believe the stats at half-time.
No.
When I looked at it, I never thought we would go to Villa Park and see them have no XG, no shots on target, no shots on goal at all. And I think we had 57% of the possession in the first half
like
as
that.
well.
We had 8 shots, 2 on target, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And that is a testament to our midfield, our defence. They battled unbelievably in midfield. They kept the ball so well. And I was worried, though, because I did say at half-time, you've got to be worried about Villa coming out in the second half and actually improving, because they were so bad. We were very good, but we didn't have that cutting edge, did we? We couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And we did have, in my eyes, 2 very, very good chances to do that.
Oh, yeah, we should have done. We should have been going in at least 1-0 up.
Yeah.
If not, as you say, 2-0. I mean, we kept the ball brilliantly, but equally they were shocking with the ball. I lost count in the first half. I tried to keep a tally, and I got to 15 misplaced in that midfield area where it was just going. It wasn't even going anywhere near a Villa player. It's not like it was just a little bit off. It was completely obscure. And then when there's a loose ball, Tonali or J7, Bruno, whoever was jumping on it, they were just like, we'll walk to what. I was like, it almost seemed like it was a training ground match for them in the first half. They just didn't seem with it. Like, it was like, hello, this is the first game of the season. We were up for it. Absolutely, we were.
I'll have to delete that bit. Shaw's Hollywood passes. We've already talked about it. Coming into the second half, I thought, it's gonna be tougher. Well, I'll be happy with a point. And then Alanga's beautiful through ball. Do you know what it is? I think if it just had another half a yard of pace on it, Gordon would have been able to run onto it much smoother and be able to get in on goal. And I think he was happy he felt the touch from the defender to get him sent off. Because I think he was going away from goal because there was just not quite enough pace on the ball. If there was more pace on the ball, he would have been more direct straight at the goalkeeper. Then he could have slotted it, went round him, whatever he wanted to do. And I think he had in his mind, I'm going away from goal a little bit here with my touch. My only option is probably to round the goalkeeper if I'm going to get into that position. But obviously the defender makes it easier for him, drags him back, he goes down. It's a definite red card, isn't it? There's no complaints.
Yeah, you're right. He's had to go around Conte for a start. Yeah. He's gone the sort of long way round to get the ball. He's still beaten to it. Yeah. He's had to go the long way round, and he's sort of kind of going towards, he's going away from goal a little bit. Yeah. I'll be honest, it's a red straight off. It's a red. It's a soft red, I think.
He's last man, isn't he? You can't...
Because when you look, he is last man. But when you look at it, there's not. I don't think there's much contact on his shoulder. But he has played for it, and that's why it is a red, because it's Dogzo. It is that denied, but it's a soft red, I think. It's not unlucky because it is a red, but do you know what I mean by that? It's a very.
I do, yeah.
Gordon's felt the tug on his shoulder. He's felt a bit of pressure. He's gone down. He's looked for it. He knows he's probably going away. Right, we'll get the best out of it. But it's not one of those where he absolutely hacks him down or he drags him back or something like that. It's a soft red, but it is a Dogzo and his last man.
It's letter of the law, isn't it? It doesn't matter how much contact there is. There's enough to bring him down when he's running through on goal, and he is the last man. I'm afraid it's a red.
But he was, But it was, I tell you, the ball from Elanga what was impressive for me was more the run from Gordon. As I say, he went around, but he was in his own half, so it was no question of offside or anything like that. And he just went, I say, the long way around, and in front of him was just brilliant. It was just, but I think he could have carried on, but like you say, he's running away. He's sort of running towards the right hand side of the goal.
It's with pace, he's running with pace as well. So sometimes anything that drags you back a little bit, it takes you off your balance, doesn't it? I don't agree with this, Gary, I'm afraid. Just because he's not in the he was still quite far away from goal, so it's very difficult to say, we're going to award a penalty for that because
I think didn't they stop that as well? Didn't they stop that as well? Because that's that triple threat, isn't it? You lose a man, a
double
penalty, and a
jeopardy
goal.
thing.
I think they stopped that sort
No,
of thing.
but he's saying that he's denying a goal scoring opportunity should just result in a penalty, which means even if he's outside the box, he's going to give a penalty. I don't agree with that, unfortunately. But even if that was in the penalty area, he would still get sent off because it's last man. I think it's more for accidental sort of, maybe the goal. I think it's the goalkeeper situation, isn't it? Where a goalkeeper dives at a striker's feet, you give a penalty, you don't send off the keeper, he gets a yellow card. I think that's where the double jeopardy comes in.
That's it.
Today, for me, showed me really need a midfielder who was able to break down teams who could sit back, sometimes share 17 replacement in the game. We were sort of missing them. I don't think we were. It's a difficult one, James, right? Because I think we created enough chances to win the game, but we didn't have someone who was able to put the ball away. Now, there was one situation where I thought, oh, Gordon, what have you done? There was one where Barnes got to the bar line and he nailed it back to him inside the 18-yard box, and his touch was terrible. I don't think he was expecting it, but a striker would have that instinct to either hit it first time or take a touch and then hit it. So, and I mean, I would love a number 10 and that sort of thing, but you've got to be careful because we play with a free in midfield. And when you take one of them away, you've got to make sure it's a quality player. So, yeah, I see where you're coming from, but I don't think we were missing that player today. I think we were missing someone who could actually score. I think that was the issue. I've seen a few comments online, and I don't know if these guys deserve to have an account, to be fair, but they were saying how poor Elanga was today. I don't get that.
I don't think he was poor. I think, is he up to Newcastle scratch and how he play? No. But he's only had a handful of games as such. It takes a little bit of time to mould in. I mean, I made my little notes through the game. I thought he looked really on it. He looked really up for it. It's, we had a pacey front three, and I think he actually played well. Okay, he had a couple of touches. There was one where Trippier played a ball with the outside.
Yeah,
it was spinning. He took a missed touch. It's a missed touch. It's not as if he was, it's not crap. I actually thought he played really well. He got busy. He didn't wander anywhere. He was really fully into it. I thought he was really, for a debut, it was a good solid 8 out of 10, I would have said, for a debut. Not in terms of his performance, but for his debut, it was there. There's flashes, and I think, well, actually, this is going to be all right, this is.
See, this is it. This is me. Yeah. Especially in the first half. I mean, he got a 7.2 on Sofa score. Now, to give you a perspective, everyone thought Tonali was man of the match today, or Bruno was man of the match today. Bruno had a 6.9, Tonali had a 6.8, and Joelinton had a 6.6. Barnes had a 6.9, and Gordon actually had a 6.1 on stats, on how they collect data on a player and how well they play. So Elanga to get a 7.2, and then people saying he was terrible. I was like, what game were you watching?
I mean, I've got Flash Score, and it's got Elanga at a 7.1 here.
There you go, same as me, almost, but a little bit better. I mean, his passing accuracy was 86%. He had 1 out of 3 dribbles successful, which I think there was more than that, to be honest with you, because he beat Digne a few times and got taken down.
Oh, he did Digne. Digne, he had him in his pocket.
Times. Exactly. And ground duels, he won 4 out of 6, which is not bad for a winger. I honestly, obviously, barring his final pass and that chance that he had to score, he was in the right place at the right time. He showed his quality. He kept the width on the right-hand side very well. And that was another good tactic in the second half. After we when they went out 10 men, Trippier played as a DM quite a lot when we had the ball, leaving that right-hand side to Elanga alone and making so much space for him when he got the ball to run into it. And he wasn't afraid to run at his men either, and a lot of people say that, well, Murphy should have started. I'm like, well, Murphy wouldn't have done anything that Elanga did because he's a different type of player, different type of winger. So it's an interesting one. But I thought Elanga had a decent debut, to be fair. I've got no complaints with him other than he should have really buried it. we've got to talk about their goalkeeper because it was his debut.
Oh,
He was actually superb today. 3 saves, 7 accurate long balls, 3 high claims, 12 recoveries. He had 52 touches. That's a lot for a goalkeeper.
yeah.
And he prevented 0.69 goals. I thought for a debut for 5 million from the Championship, that was a pretty solid performance from him.
Oh, unreal. I mean, I saw, a lot of saves he made. That first, just he was there and thereabouts. It was great. Well, not from our point of view, obviously, but
No, but you've got to give credit where credit's due, don't you?
of course you have. Yeah, you always watch. I don't know about you, Baz, but I always watch it as a Newcastle fan, but I always watch as a neutral as well a little bit. And like you say, credit where it's due. His saves were unreal today, and his positioning was brilliant. You can't fault him because obviously, I don't know when he got the call up, but he was brilliant. When they've had somebody as such a presence as Martinez for the last 2-3 years, to step into those shoes was massive. But he really did step up today for it.
Yeah. Now this is, I agree with David on this. Now we're going to talk about obviously the substitutions and Eddie Howe's decisions. First of all, I pointed out at half time, or even before half time, Harvey Barnes was getting so much of the ball down the left-hand side and doing nothing with it. He was cutting inside all the time. He did try and get the overlap going with J7 a few times and with Tino, and he got it a couple of times around the back, but the final cross was terrible most of the time. But I said we should switch Gordon and Barnes around a bit more, and he did try it in the second half, but for me, he tried it too late. Now, I would have preferred Barnes as a striker because he can finish, and I prefer Gordon as a left winger because he has that unpredictability of either going on the outside or cutting on the inside. And it showed for the 10 minutes when he went out on the left wing how better he was at beating the man. And I think that should have been explored a lot more.
Definitely. And I think it showed. I think it was the first, when Asula first came on, Gordon did a run from the wing.
From the left,
and I think he went through 4 players.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I was like, that's Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
He struggled in that middle. And I think Ali McCoy's was spot on. Sometimes I don't rate Ali McCoy's, but he was spot on. When he's in that central,
I love Ali.
He doesn't really know what's on.
I love Ali McCoy.
Anyway, he doesn't know what to do in that central part. But when you put him on that wing, and I say it was that first run, and he was in and out, and I was like, that's Anthony Gordon. If we got, I don't want to be harsh to Asulu, just come on, but if we've got a decent striker, then we'd have had that there, just squared it off, done probably another goal, and that would have been it. But it's right. I mean, I was a bit shocked when I did see the lineup and playing. I thought Harvey Barnes had a great game on the left. I actually thought his last ball was okay. It wasn't Anthony Gordon quality, but it was there or thereabouts. It was getting there. But Anthony Gordon would have done a lot better. I'd have put him, like you say, I'd have put him out, but I'd have brought Asula on a lot earlier. We bring on 89 minutes, 90 minutes. We should have brought him on because he actually looked alive.
This is it. When I am guessing that you tried Barnes up front in training, possibly, but I mean, anyone could have played up front and not scored for the next 48 hours. To be fair, the substitutions were very strange for me because they were very late in the game. Miley came on for J7 with 10 minutes to go, and then Asula came on with a minute to go. Now, I'm not a massive fan of Asula, but if you're going to throw a striker on, finally, you've got to give him 10, 15 minutes. You can't just throw him on with a minute and expect some wonders to happen.
No.
The other thing that really annoyed me is that the bench was a lot stronger and we didn't really use it as much either. Why didn't he throw Park on? Parker showed in training, in the he has 2 10-minute cameos in the friendlies.
Yeah,
there's something about him, and we needed something like that. Someone who was willing to run at defenders and try to get into the box. And I think Park Sue could have been a winner today, potentially. Someone different, someone that Villa's not used to. and he could have been another option, but you've got to give them more time. So I thought that was the only poor tactics from Eddie Howe today was his substitutions. I thought they were very poor.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I'd have given it 5 minutes after the Conza red card, and then I'd have said, right, I would have put Asula in, give him 20 odd minutes. I think he got sent off in 66th minute, something like that, 65, 66 minutes. So there's a good 20 minutes there. I'd have put him on because that's the striker. He knows how to play a central role. Is he as good as he? No, he's not as good as Isak. We know that, but it doesn't matter. That's all we've got at the minute. Put him on because that's going to cause them problems. I think I'd have probably put him on 70, 75th minute. And like you say, give him 20 minutes or so. Park would have done something. I don't know where you'd put him because Gordon had a good game. I thought, really good game. He was a bit lost in the middle, but he still had a good game there. You know, who do you take off? Who do you put him on for?
Well, looking at the lineup, I mean, Gordon could have went as a 10, and then you could have just moved things around a little bit because we were the ones on the ascendancy and attacking and with more possession. So you didn't need. I mean, you could have went free at the back potentially and moved another one. And you know, there was definitely different ways we could have done it. I don't agree with this, David, and I agree in some stages and there's times when he's done it because the bench has been poor. But there have been times where he's whipped players off at half-time and made changes, and that's been a proactive manager, not a reactive manager. So I think he unfortunately falls in between. He has his good moments and he has his bad moments with substitutions. I think we all know he loves one at 70 minutes most of the time. But I think his substitutions were pretty poor today, to be fair. But we can't hide from the fact, you know, if we had a Mitrovic or a better Wilson, if we had our Wissa deal done, if we had an Isak replacement done, we would have won that game quite comfortably today.
Easily.
Which is really, really, really frustrating. I'll tell you another player. I mean, someone mentioned there that Watkins wouldn't fit into the Eddie Howe style of play. I'm a bit surprised that someone would say that because Watkins likes to run in the channels and likes the ball at his feet. He's not a get the ball to the wingers and smash it into the box all the time. He's actually a very good ball player. And he had, in the second half, 2 decent chances. Now, for me, and Ollie Watkins, who's in form, would have took one of those chances.
Easily. He is. I'm surprised that with all the striker stuff going on, that we haven't tried to sign him. I think
the thing is, though, if you look at Villa's squad, why would they sell him? That's my problem when I look at that.
Admittedly, yes, and granted. But we all know money talks in football. If there's enough money comes in for him, if they say, I wouldn't even like to say, if they said he's 60 million, we'd go, okay. You know, I don't know, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Isak deal goes through, which is probably going to end up going through, possibly. Then
nobody knows.
Who knows? But that's what I'm saying. That goes through. You go, well, that's fine. We'll pay the 60 million. If he's worth that, I don't know, but he does. I think he could fit into our style quite after, you know, and he could. And I think Eddie Howe would elevate him to what he should be. You know, he should be. For me, he should be Harry Kane's the second one in line for Harry Kane.
Yeah,
I think he's a great striker. He's not quite there yet.
Yeah,
but Eddie, we know Eddie's got a history of taking players. He's done it with J7. He's undoubtedly... Bruno was a great player when he came to us, but Eddie's made him better.
Yeah.
Tonali was a great player, but he's made him that little bit better.
Yeah.
Gordon, I think there's all the players that he's had have been elevated. You look at the ones that he brought
Lewis
through.
Hall, Tino,
exactly. Sven, we keep going. Everybody
Yeah.
has been made better. So Ollie Watkins would fit into that, and yeah, I'm surprised that we didn't. I mean, I'd take Ollie Watkins over Nicholas Jackson any day.
Let me see the back off what I saw today. I've just well, I thought he was very good holding the ball up and work
Second
rate.
half, he was very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
first half he was. I mean, first half the whole Villa team was terrible, but the
Mm.
second half they were much better and they caused us a bit more problems. Melion coming on caused us a few problems. I thought there was a chance when he was going to get in and score, to be honest with you, but Pope pulled off a good save.
Yeah.
Watkins, God, no. I don't mind Watkins, but just his age, and that's what puts me off. He's a very short-term option. And if you're getting Wisser in, you've already got a short-term option there as well. But Watkins is a lot better than what you think he is. But all in all, it finished 0-0. And again, basically, both sides were very much toothless.
Yeah.
If you've seen the movie, you'd understand the joke. I thought that was brilliant. It's toothless.
It was very good.
Anyway, Eddie Howe was interviewed after the game, and there was some brilliant chants from the Newcastle fans, as you can imagine. Eddie Howe on chants towards Isak. Obviously, there's only one greedy bastard from the NUFC end of full time. Whatever happens with Isak, our supporters acted really well today because they supported the team when they were playing. They've always done that unbelievably well. If they want to say something afterwards, they are free to do that. He's played it brilliantly, hasn't he? Because he's right, because our fans have seen us today go to Villa, which, let's face it, I put down as a 2-0 loss. A lot of people said they'd take a draw. I mean, I said I would take a draw at the start of it, but I wasn't expecting that. And we've gone there and outplayed them. Now, this is the team that finished in the same amount of points as us last season. It's thrashed us 4-1 last season at their place. And we've almost turned the books, and we would have had we had that rat playing for us.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. I mean, I said a 1-0 win. I thought we'd have snuck a 1-0 win, obviously without the striker situation. But you if you'd have asked me at 29 minutes past 12, will you take a draw? Absolutely, of course I will, because they're not. I think the problem is that a lot of people think that Villa are the team from 5-6 years ago that probably weren't the greatest. Yeah. They were that mid-table, probably top of the bottom half of the league. Yeah. They're not. They've come on leaps and bounds. Unai Emery, to his credit, has done a fantastic job. Mm-hmm. And they are, they were in the Champions League. I mean, they beat Paris Saint-Germain there last season. It's. I think they said it on the commentary. They didn't say the word fortress, but it's that kind of, they've lost
23 games in a row that haven't been beaten.
Stuff like that they've not lost. It was ridiculous. Yeah. Ridiculous amount of games they've not lost there. So it's not an easy place to go. It's an old school ground as well, where you're literally, the fans are on top of you. It's not like the Olympic, London Stadium where you're about 1 million miles away. Yeah. It's a tough old ground. They've got it set up right, fair play. But I take it. I take the draw. We move on. Obviously, it's Liverpool next. But it was... I think Eddie Howe's played it blindly. I think he's been through all this. He's been an absolute... I think I put it on my Twitter earlier, or in response to something. I think it was Grassroots something, saying, they said that, Newcastle have handled it badly. I don't think Newcastle have. I think we've been absolutely... Could we have been better? Maybe. If this has been
I think for fans, it's been handled a little bit too quietly for us.
Possibly.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, but if Isak has said that this was his last season, fine, I get that. I don't know if that's true, but I think over the summer, the club has said, look, that's the value, 150 million, pay up or jog on.
Yeah.
And Eddie Howe's been nothing but a gentleman with it and said, look, I want the best team, but I also want players who are going to play for the team. He's been absolutely spot on with it. I think the club have handled it brilliantly. He's been amazing, and I think his stock with the fans has gone up even more. We all loved Eddie Howe anyway. I think his stock has gone up even more now with it, and he's right. For the 90 minutes, the fans were... I couldn't hear anything but really Newcastle chants all the time. Although I got mixed up with whether it was Anthony Elanga or Anthony Gordon sometimes. I could just hear the Anthony sometimes. But they've gone in, and then afterwards, then they've voiced their opinions when they're free to do so.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, don't forget to get your man of the matches in, because we're we're nearing the end of the show. I was going to do 45 tonight because I want to go to bed. It's been a long day. Anthony Gordon, he literally put the dig in. We will always keep that togetherness. It doesn't matter about individuals. What a great thing to say as well, wasn't it?
Very much like a captain. I mean, obviously he's not captain, but he's one of the senior players, I would say.
He's very intelligent.
He is. He's very, and he knows how to, obviously he was, there was the Liverpool thing last season.
Yeah.
Is he going to go there and that, but he said, no, he's staying. And I think he's going to emerge this season. I know Eddie's got his sort of senior players, his Dan Burns, his Trips, his Brunos, people like that. And I think Anthony Gordon's going to emerge as one of those for me. And I think that shows, it solidifies his place even more with me, that he loves this club. And he gets the fact that we've said it all the way through the summer. Not one person is bigger than the club.
Yeah.
And Anthony Gordon gets that, and he's really tapped into it.
Ooh, some news. Brentford have signed that Dango Owatawa from AFC Bournemouth, so that means Johan Wissa should be done in the next 36 hours. Fingers crossed. We'll have more on that tomorrow because we're going to be doing a transfer show tomorrow. Let's get back to the chat and see what's going on in there. Oh, man of the matches are coming in. We'll keep them for later. You can tell he loves the club. He does love the club. And I mean, and don't get me wrong, if we had to sell him to Liverpool and his agent turned his head to go to Liverpool, I could understand why. He's a Liverpool fan, so there's a big difference, and it's where he's from. But he sorted his head out. He was brilliant all the way through those rumours as well, wasn't he? Because he never downed tools like Isaac's done, all that sort of stuff. 14 should be retired from James Park. Never won again. No, we need to get a better player wearing it to wipe out this rat. I keep saying that word, don't I? But yeah, great comments after the game. I mean, for me, it's a point gain, not 2 points lost, because I think our expectations of the game was we would be very, very difficult to score goals against Villa, especially with our situation. So a point, I think, is still a good point.
Absolutely, and I agree completely. I think that's the thing, with everything that's going on, we've been the centre of every single media outlet for the last 3 weeks now, and it's getting boring now, to be honest. But as I said, you go to Villa Park, it's not a free ride now. They beat City there last season. They beat Paris Saint-Germain. It's definitely a point gain. I saw that somebody put it was 2 points lost. I think was it Craig Hope, I think. I don't think
when a team goes down to 10 men, a lot of people just expect the floodgates to open, and I just thought Villa played it very well. They moved Kamara into centre back.
I'm always of the opposite opinion. When you go down to 10 men, yes, you've got the extra man, but actually those 10 men play a little bit better. It's harder to play against 10 men because they rally themselves up a bit more.
Yeah.
So yes, you've got the extra man. You should make something, but there's only 20 minutes left or so. Yeah. And they rallied together. So I don't think it is 2 points lost. I think it's a point gain. The key thing is we didn't lose on the opening day. You've got a point. We can only build from there. You're not going to win You're not going to win the league on the first day of the season.
No, definitely.
But you could set yourself up for a really bad season with it.
Absolutely agree. And then if you look at it that way, we're 1 point up on last season, and Villa are 2 down now because obviously they beat us last season. That's another way of looking at it. Yeah. He's gone. He's off, mate, James. He's gone up to Villarreal on loan. I did have something really good to say, but that's just thrown me. Oh, yeah. I think Villa will see it as more of a point gained than we do because of the situation they found themselves in.
Definitely.
But it definitely, I still think it's a point gain for us. Had we had a striker, I would have said it was possibly 2 points drop because we created enough chances to win the game. But I just feel with the situation that everything that's been going on, I mean, that was a great point. And I'd also like to point out, remember the start of last season? Yes, we won a few games, but how poor were we?
Yeah.
And look at the polar opposite to today, this morning. We were excellent.
We were brilliant today. We just missed that. It wasn't even the last third. It was that last tenth that's the touch to put it in the net. That's all we missed today. Everything else was spot on. Yes, we had our little lull. We usually do towards this half time. We go a bit quiet, but we pick it back up again. We just missed that last touch or the last hit to put it in the net.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, when you're playing well and you don't score, if you're not creating chances, that's when you're worried. But when you play well and create chances and don't score, you know it's going to change. And I said this 2 years ago when we were doing our last Champions League campaign, when we finished the Champions League. It's 3 years, is it 2.5 years ago now? It happened to us then. I said, we're creating chances. I know we're not scoring, but that will change. And within 2 games after saying that, we started scoring goals for fun again. So you've just got to let it happen. Our pressing was really good, and that was down to Gordon. And then the midfield three pressing was absolutely superb as well. Right, man of the matches. Let's have a look, see what people have gone for. Dan Burn, Tonali, Burn, Shaw, Dan Burn. Dan Burn seems to have got it. But for you, JC, your man of the match, did you say Dan Burn or Shaw?
It's tough. I mean, I agree. Both Dan Burn, all three of those that you said. Tonali was outstanding, really solid in that midfield. But for me, Burn and Cher at the back, they were absolutely fantastic. I have to agree again. I don't like agreeing with Ali McCoist, but Shaw's balls. I mean, those diagonal balls. He's pretty much playing it the whole length of the pitch almost. And there were 2 balls that were just
on the money, straight on the feet as well, weren't they?
But Dan Burns tackling and the way he just bullied, and he bullied them in a nice way. Yes, he gave away a couple of fouls, but he bullied them. And there was one tackle that come in. They were on the wing. And he slid in from about 20 years ago and just took the ball. And I was like, that's quality. Big Dan Burn, any one of them 3 really. If I had to press for one, I'd probably have to agree with Ali McCoist. I don't like doing it. Bloody don't tell him that. But Cher was great. Those balls, that gives us an extra thing. We know Trips can play a ball, but if Cher can play those balls as well, and he got forward a bit as well, he wasn't scared. And sometimes, he had a couple of wayward shots, but that's what we want. If that gets you 5 goals a year and your goal difference is plus 4, he's secured you whatever it is, So for me, Fabian Cher, I think.
Yeah. I remember that tackle, and Ali McCoy said Dan Burns' face lit up 20 yards ago before he even got anywhere near it. He just knew what he was going for, and that's the tackle that Dan Burns loves. A lot of positives today. Just last bit of the 3 points rolling would be good. Exactly. There's loads of positives today. Our set pieces were absolutely fantastic. There was one where it looked like Trips was going to take a dig from 35 yards, 40 yards, but then he played it into someone in front of the wall who then nicked it to Shaw, and Shaw had a shot. It was brilliant. There was one that we put to the back post where Dan Burn and Shaw got in the way of each other. There's a lot of positives about our set pieces.
There was that one on 17 minutes where Trips had that free kick and he played it, and Gordon had a right strike. It was brilliant, but they chopped and changed it. Didn't always rely on Trips to play the ball in.
But Tonali was taking a lot more free kicks and corners, which I've been crying out for ages. Why isn't our best passer of a football taking those types of corners and free kicks? So, there's so many positives from today, which it's nice to be positive because I know it's just a point and it could have been more, but we've got to think of the situation, don't we? Right.
It's 38 games.
38 games, plus the Cups, plus the Champions League, guys. Jesus Christ, I'm loving it. There you go, Jules. Down a shot. Before we just go to the last little bits, don't forget about Diacro, amazing little company in America who do amazing t-shirts. We're going to give away a $40 gift card soon, I promise, to members. So if you want to be a member, hit that button. It's only 99p a month. And don't forget about the Geordieland Experience. If you're not from the Northeast and you're watching this show and you want to come up to the Northeast and learn about the heritage and history and all that sort of stuff, these are the guys. Oil Brothers, second episode, first one on this channel. First one was on Martin's channel. That will be on Wednesday night, but we are going to try and do a transfer show tomorrow. Now, our Through Black and White Eyes team are having a little in-house competition. 2 points for a correct result, 5 points for a correct result and score. the first ones were in. 3 people predicted a draw. So I'm buzzing about that in a way, because I'm still only 2 points behind everyone. I did say 2-0 loss. Some people said Newcastle would win, but Superfan Dan, Helen's brother, and Ian all predicted a draw, so they all got 2 points. So we'll keep you updated with this. I think it's a bit of fun, and it's between the guys who run the channel, so it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Now, normally we'd show the Premier League
the loser
table.
does a forfeit, apparently, don't they, Baz?
Well, I took that out because people weren't wanting to do it. So I would do it, but there we go. I'm more
I'd do it.
Okay.
I'll put it on here now. It's
I
there.
am if we get a striker. I'm very, very optimistic. Quick hello, I survived Brum. Yeah, well done.
Whoever's put that about Liverpool, part of me wants to see J7 put Ekitike straight into Rosehead and absolutely smash him up. Just saying, just put it out there.
Why not? Why not? Right, at this point, I normally put the Premier League table up and we all start, talking about where we're going to finish and all this sort of stuff. But it's too early to do that. So I'm going to put this one up because this one looks a lot better. This is the 2025-26 Opta predicted table. Obviously, the Opta table were not very impressed with Sunderland's transfer business, and they're going to get relegated with 31 points. And we're going to finish 5th. I said stop the season. Let's just take this. I'm happy with this. Look at this. You've even got Newcastle and Villa finished on the same points again, but we go up by 0.02 or 3. Sorry, 0.03 ahead of Villa, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And we finished 3 points behind Chelsea again, which is what happened last season. So this is the up the table. I would take 5th all day long. I'm not going to lie to you guys. 5th will be a Champions League place again next season. You can put your mortgage on that happening. And I'll tell you why. Because we have 6 teams in the Champions League this year. That means we're going to get more points than any other countries. So we will get that 5th spot again, which is what we need.
I'll tell you what's shocking on that, though, is still that Man United, with all their spending,
12,
Sesko and all that lot, and Spurs are still languishing in that. I mean, not as bad as last season, but
Spurs look good today.
That's
Spurs
shocking.
look quite good today. Fair play.
Well, Spurs look very good today.
Yeah, so I don't know if this Opta thing is done a good job, but let's hope he has, because finishing 5th would be very good for us. But yes, exactly. Not where they are now. Never happened. Don't want to talk about it, but the banter is back. Right, guys, thanks for tuning in and joining in with the chat and then getting all your opinions across. That's what we're here for, to hear from you guys as well, not just you listening to us. It's what we want to do this for. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. Me, John, and Superfan Dan will be back tomorrow. It'll be a bit later than usual because I've got nothing on tomorrow night. I'm going to night shift Monday, so we might do it about 8:30 or something like that. City will be above Arsenal. Yeah, you're probably right, to be fair. It's got Arsenal second again. I don't think that'll happen. But thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll catch you tomorrow night, and then we'll see what else there's coming on. So, yeah. Good night, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Ta-da.